Always great catching up with my next guest, and he's been on quite the win streak. He picked up another big victory this past weekend, taking out Niko Price, UFC Vegas 98 last Saturday. It's Themba Gorimbo back here on the program. Themba, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing, James? You good, brother?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's always good when I get to talk to you, man. Of course, we got to talk in person in July at the UFC X. It was great to finally meet you. And a really good win, like I said, on Saturday over Niko Price. Before we talk about the victory, though, you had mentioned to me back in July about switching things up, leaving Florida, training in Vegas. I know you got a chance to work with Eric Nixick. How different was camp going into this fight, training in Vegas, and kind of fighting a home game to some degree?
Oh yeah. So I had to switch up things. Like I told you, I wasn't happy in Miami with my training, and I had to go to Vegas and train with Coach Eric. And I mean, I got a couple of coaches. My head coach is Eric Nixick, but I have a lot of other coaches that I train with, like my wrestling coach Sean Hussein. I train my boxing with Coach Gill, and I do with Coach D as well. So like I have many other coaches, but I have one head coach. Like for me, I went to Vegas to train with Eric because of the knowledge that he has, and I feel like it is something that I need at this point in time of my career. I have to have a smart coach that knows the game, that lives the game, and that like also like is very fully committed to the sport, not just for money, but just creating legacy and helping people to achieve their dreams. And I'm happy with Coach Eric, and I'm happy with the PI guys too. They help me, and yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. I actually enjoy fighting for the first time in my career, if I can say this.
Okay.
Like I feel like I could do this every month, man. If there was no weight cut, I could do this every week. But every month I could be fighting. I like, yeah, it's amazing. I love this.
Good. How did it get set up with you training with Eric? Was that through your management? Did you know Eric previously? How did you end up training with him?
So what happened is that on my UFC debut, after I lost my debut, I kind of like wanted to stay in Vegas to train there, and my manager put me through to a few gyms to train, and I just couldn't like. I went to first was Syndicate, and I went there and I sat with John Hood. Bless him, nothing against him, but we sat for 30 minutes talking, and from that conversation, I just thought, nah, this is not a place for me. Then I was looking for a coach for me, and one place I didn't go was Extreme Couture. And I just said to my manager, I need to go back to Africa and I'll figure it out. I'll figure out where I want to go. And for some reason, I flew to New York. They changed my flight. Like I went straight all on the day, on the Monday, and they changed my flight. And for some reason, I flew to Newark. And as I got to Newark, me and Eric were sitting across from each other on a restaurant in Newark, but I couldn't recognize him because he was wearing a cap. So like I was like second guessing, is this Eric? Is I know this face, I know this face, and eventually he took off his hat, his cap. Then I could recognize him. Then I was like, oh, that's Eric. Then I went to speak to him. Then I said, hey, how are you? He's like, ah, yeah. He also couldn't recognize him, but he could like figure out who I was. Like he's like, oh, I think I saw your fight this weekend, and I could still remember saying this guy is actually good, but some things are not put together. Then I'm like, yeah, man, I was in Vegas now. I had to stay longer trying to find a place to stay to training whatsoever. And he's like, no, why you didn't come to us? I said, no, I just went to this place and I just thought this is not a place for me. And you guys, Extreme for me back then, I didn't want to be at Extreme because I only see videos of people training, and I'm a private person. I don't like people posting my training and even who I train with most of the time. And I just thought I said to him, no, I didn't want to come to Extreme because you guys, I post a lot of training. It's like, no, 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 it's not like that. But then he watched my fight. He's like, pull up your fight, let's watch it. Then I pulled up my fight, the thing. Then we watched the fight. Then he's like, straight away, what were you thinking here? This is what you were thinking. Explain to me exactly what I was thinking, and that's exactly what I was thinking during the fight. And he was not in my corner. He's not my coach. And for me, I picked up. I'm like, okay, this guy is very smart. And it was like very interesting for me from then. I was like, okay, if he can pick up what, like I'm a very hard person to pick the mind on, and if he can pick up my mind, and he was not even there, he was just from watching everything. and he could say word for word for what I was thinking in the fight, and I only knew that,
Mhm.
and I was like, this guy must be a good coach. And then what kind of a coincidence it is? Like, we're sitting across from each other at a restaurant, and I'm going away to Africa, try to find a place and the coach to train me. So it was a little bit like, I think, destiny in a way. But then I had to move here, and I couldn't go to Xtreme. I didn't even say to him, I'll come to Xtreme. I just said to him, he's like, yeah, go to this coach. He directed me to go to another coach in Africa. It's like, try this coach. He might be good for you. Then I went there. I couldn't get things right. Then I messaged MMA Masters to come and train here. And I said to them, can I come and train and I can stay in the gym? And you can get 10% of my fight pass. Then they say, okay, cool. That was my deal when I came to MMA Masters, and I was staying on the couch there. And I ended up having a fight. Then I fought. Then, yeah, things happened. But I was just at MMA Masters. I was not happy. Like, for me, it was not my environment. Um, Things were not just, like, I was winning fights, but I was winning fights where to a point where, like, at what cost, like, at
Mhm.
the cost of my happiness. I just have to stay here and entertain people that I feel like their values and my values are not aligned. So I just decided, you know what, man. And I felt like I felt like staying. The only reason I stayed long at MMA Masters, if I have to be honest, is like I felt like I owed them.
Right.
So it's it, yeah, I felt like I owed them to be there. And I tried my level best. I spoke to those coaches several times to try and fix things, try to make things work. But yeah, man, you can't change people. You can only change yourself. So, like, I couldn't get it right. Then I decided, you know what, man. I told my wife, listen, I know I believe myself. I work hard, and I know I can become anything no matter where I'm training. I need to be happy to be successful and to be training here. I'm not happy, and I'm every day having to be like dreading myself to go to the place where I'm training, and I call myself work. I call this work, and I'm training, and I have to see people that I do not want to see.
Yeah.
Like, very negative situation and vibes. So it was not for me personally, and yeah, I couldn't stay at MMA Masters like with the Kobe things and all that. So my place, man. If I knocked Niko Price out on Saturday, I was gonna call Colby Covington out, but you know what? He does not deserve my time as well.
Okay, fair enough. So there was an issue with you and Colby then. I wasn't aware of this. So you that was part of the reason you left the gym?
It's one of the other reasons too, because when I went to Vegas in December to watch him when he was fighting, I actually didn't go to watch him. I went for the MMA awards,
Mhm.
and I was at the MMA awards to do the awards. And after the awards, I booked the PI session at the PI at 10 p.m. at night. Of course, yes, I was fighting in February, so I wanted to stay training, and I considered him my teammate. So I said, okay, cool. I set up my training at the PI to go and run on the treadmill after the awards ceremony, which most people won't do. People would be at the award ceremony and they go out, right?
Mhm.
I won the award. I was ready to go back to training. So I took the Uber back to the PI to train, and then I was at the PI training, and then um, as I got on the treadmill, then Kobe walks in, and then he kicks me out of the PI.
What?
He tells the guy that works at the PI that, hey, I don't want to see that guy, meaning me, who is his teammate. And he said, nah. He didn't tell me directly. He told the guy. Then the guy came to me. He's like, Themba, he's cutting weight. I mean, I understand maybe he's cutting weight, but you know what? I'm your teammate, and I mean, we train at the same place. We're not really training together, but when he did that to me, I was like, okay, cool. This is it. I mean, I was not already in my own situation things, but I was like, okay, this is not it. And this is the end of it. I tried to speak to the coaches when they came back to Miami about it. But you know what? Kobe pays, man. Kobe is a cash cow. So those values of money over morals for me were not standing. And then I just decided, you know what? I can't be in this. I tried to speak to him even recently. I mean, in March before my fight, tried to speak to him so we can train again together, but just couldn't work out. So
Okay.
the incident that led up to that is the PI incident when he came in there and still looked in my face and smiled at me whilst I'm walking out. And whereas he's the one that said to me, to the guy that was there, please tell Themba to leave the PI. And I'm just on the treadmill, and he thought I'm there to watch him or so ever he felt. And for me, that was it. That was when it cut itself. And I mean, bless him, and nothing but the best for him. Maybe we'll meet one day down the road. We'll never know. This sport
Okay.
is this sport is very brutal.
Yeah, it's a small industry too. That's interesting. Well, like I said, it worked out well for you at Xtreme Couture. You got the big win over Niko Price. How did the fight play out to your expectations? Like did it play out how you thought it would?
It was actually like, I don't know. I kind of like watched the fight myself because I know I hit very hard, and Niko does not have that chin that to hold up. But like, what happened is that I was hitting at the far end of my punches, and the times I rocked him, I was not precise with my shots. I was just kind of like wilding up. But like when I started being cracking and like being sharp, uh, I didn't hit him with my full shots. I hit him right at the end of my shots. That's why I think he was able to take the shots. Um, but yeah, like other than that, I mean, he actually had more information on me. That's the other thing. He was training at MMA Masters for that fight. I saw the interview he did with you, and I mean, I just had to go out there and do my job. Um, I really wished to have finished him, but yeah, man, I was trying to finish him from the start of the fight to the end of the fight. I wanted to finish the fight, and I feel like, you know what, I I'm a person that is hard like, I'm very hard on myself. So I'm kind of like, I've been watching the fight. I've been working already in my mind what I need to do, because you know what, I understand the sport, and I understand that I need to get finishes for me to be able to claim what I want.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I need to get back in there and fight. So yeah, it is what it is.
For sure. Well, it was a great win. Really good name on your resume. When do you want to fight again? The nice thing about being in Vegas is, it's probably a bit easier for you to take fights because they do events there so much. So when would you like to fight again?
So I'll be back in Vegas on the 3rd of November, training hard. I mean, I'm already in a itchy to train right now, but I'm gonna listen to my body because my body's a little bit so. I'll take this week break, then from next week I'll start training cardio. Then on the 3rd of November I'll be back in Vegas again. Then I have to push as hard as I can because I wanna be ready for the Vicente Luque Ronick Diaz fight. If that fight falls apart, I'll be the first one to raise his hand. I've already raised my hand for that fight before when they planned it out for Abu Dhabi. But coming off the Ramiz Ibrahimovic performance win, I don't think I was justifiable for me to go and fight a top 15 guy in Vicente Luque. I have to earn my spot through beating guys. So like now, also like this performance, I understand what it was. That's why I was trying to finish the fight because I want to claim what I want. I have my own plans for 2025, and yeah, like, but I think now I'm on a winning streak that can justify me fighting anyone right now, if the opportunity presents itself. But if it does not happen that way, I'm also understanding that maybe I still have to prove one more thing, like to myself too. I also feel like for as long as I'm fighting, I'm gonna keep on winning, and for as long as I'm keeping on winning, I'm gonna be undeniable to be what I want. So, yeah, man. If I don't get that fight, I would like to fight January 11th, in Las Vegas, the first Apex show. But yeah, like I wanted to start introducing myself to the crowd a little bit more as well, because with my plans that I have in 2025. I also need to start fighting with the crowd and get used to that. So we'll see. Um, I'll just do what the UFC ask me. Um, I don't choose my fights. I just accept the fights that they give me, and I believe end of 2025, I'll be something very very big. But I have to take it one fight at a time. You know what I mean?
Yep. And at the top of your division, we have a new champion, Belal Muhammad, defeating Leon Edwards, and he's going to be fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov coming up here at the end of the year. How do you think that fight plays out? Shavkat has yet to lose in the UFC, and Belal obviously just had a pretty dominant win in that title fight a couple months back.
Belal Muhammad, I wish him to win. Nothing but respect for that guy. You know, he has won so far to become the champion. But yeah, I wish him nothing but the best to win. I think Belal should win. Um, I mean, Shavkat is legit, but like I don't honestly. Uh, I don't even look at the fight and be like, oh, really like it's gonna be a convincing win for Shavkat or convincing win for Balau. It can go either way, but I would wish for Balau to stay champion for now.
Yeah,
I would wish
I
for
understand.
I would wish for Balau to stay champion. I've got something uh, for him in the future.
Themba, congratulations on the win. We're excited for what's next. That's 4 straight victories in a row, so I'm sure something big has got to be next. In the meantime, if you got anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, anything at all, my friend, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, everybody that supports me, the people that come behind me and support and rally behind me, my sponsors, one of them is here, Mukuru, Project Rock, Zoa, and yeah, man, like all my Legacy Academy and all that, all my sponsors, Reese Farmer. You know, it's a blessing to have people that support me, and you know what? I'm just a blessed individual. I just have to keep working hard. I mean, I'm showing that every fight I'm getting better. But now I need to fight a little bit more often. And if I'm healthy, I should be fighting. So, yeah, I'm just blessed. Thank you to you too, the media. I watch your interviews, James. I watch your
I
interview
appreciate
with
that.
I watched your interview with Niko Price before my fight, and I was like, okay. Yeah, that's when I got the scoop that he was training at MMA Masters, which I didn't know. And
There you go. That's
apparently,
why I asked the questions, because I know he had trained there before, so that's why I was curious
yeah, but
if
you
you had
know,
seen the
like
train.
after the fight, I told him like, why did you sneak up on me like that? Then he said to me, no, no, they asked me Kobe needed help, and so I had to go there. And you know, I'm like, oh, very convenient. After 1 year of me being there, and you never showed up there, then now I'm fighting you. Then all of a sudden, Kobe needs help for you from you. You know, bro, like I'm not stupid or naive. You know, you were trying to get information, and they were trying to be spiteful. And because I know what I know, and based on information that I know, I still have friends there. I mean, they might not
Mhm.
know that they are my friends, but they are my friends. And they were not training on the open mats where there is everyone that can see them. They were training in the private room. There's now a private room upstairs. So Nico would come through the back door sometimes, and they go upstairs and train upstairs where no one would see them, because they were scared. Maybe people would think they are being spiteful. But yeah, I had the information, and it's sad because like I was helping one of the guys actually who to stay in Vegas in a house. I had like a 5 bedroom house I was renting in Las Vegas now, and it was only 3 of us, me, my coach, and my training partner. And I had another guy that was part of MMA Masters at um, staying with me at that house, and I ended up having to chase him out of the house because I was like, I saw watching an interview, and I'm sorry, bro. I have to do what suits me, and you can go and find another place to stay. I can't have you here because he's telling me, Niko Price is saying Miguel Baeza is his best friend in MMA, and you are good friends with Miguel Baeza, and I am fighting this guy. It's my kid's food on the line. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, as much as I would want to help you, like the other rooms are empty, but bro, you gotta go. And it's a sad thing because I had to let go of this guy that probably was chasing his own dream and whatsoever and was minding his own business. But for me, fighting is not just fighting. This is my life. This is everything on the line, and I'm not going to risk anything, even if it's energy, like through via like I cannot risk that. That was sad. And yeah, because of them and all that. And Nico is like, oh no, they called me to train with Kobe. Kobe wanted help. Screw Kobe. He didn't want help. He wanted to be spiteful. He was glued to the TV when I was fighting, thinking I was gonna lose. And guess what? I prevailed and I won, and he's lucky. If I would have knocked Nico Price out, he was going to be next. But it's not over. I'm going to take care of my business. I want that guy.